Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Our next panel is on driving growth through customer centricity and digitization. I have with me three very eminent panelists again. Tapan Singhel, Managing Director and CEO of Bajaj Allianz. Mr. Rajiv Gupta, Head CRM for LIC of India. And Yashish Dhaiya, Founder and CEO of Policy Bazaar. So my first question I would pose to Mr. Gupta. LIC has been, singularly responsible for a deep penetration of insurance products. Of course, in most other products compared to the world, insurance still comes ahead. And LIC has been singularly responsible for that. Of course, the private sector guys have done a great job since the sector has been privatized. Tell us, in the context of COVID, what has changed at LIC? And pre-COVID, over the last 2-3 years, what have been the key customer initiatives that you have spearheaded?
Yeah, good afternoon. Thank you for having me on the show. The COVID-19 pandemic, no one was expecting it. It was completely coming out of the blue. As to any other industry, similarly, life insurance industry was impacted. And the pandemic has thrown a light on the importance of life insurance and health insurance. With people cutting across age groups being affected by COVID-19, people have begun to understand the importance of life insurance. And it has become an essential part of the new reality of our economy in the long term. The current pandemic has caused some important change in the mindset of the public at large. They are now there's an increased focus towards saving for the future. There's a need felt for life insurance as well as health insurance. Earlier, we all know life insurance was always said as the product is sold, it is never bought. But now people are coming forward, buying life insurance from their own. And in fact, we have seen that people who were already our customers, because of any reason, the policies has lapsed or something had gone wrong, they have come back during this time. And they have come forward for revival of the policies. And I think the insurers have also responded very well to the pandemic, and LIC in particular. We have to provide anytime and anywhere services to our customers. We have provided a fully equipped self-service portal to the customers. Need to reduce the physical papers that was felt across because digital was the new way forward. So something we did that. And in fact, LIC was, I must say, by design ready for the something like this to happen. Because for last many years, we were planning and upgrading our services and service portal so that we can respond to the customer digitally. And unfortunately, this came up, but we were right time at the right spot. We could respond to all those things. I must say our premium collections were very robust even during the pandemic start time. Our alternate channels of premium collections showed a remarkable growth over last year. So all those things were there. And I think this pandemic has changed the life insurance industry forever. And I think maybe something may revert back to the original, but many things will never be the same again.
Sure. Quickly, Tapan, I'll come to you. One is this whole trend that Mr. Gupta also expounded on, that, insurance was earlier sold, not bought. Post-COVID, that scenario has changed. Has that been your experience? Does that really change because of COVID? Is there really fear and uh, care or need for protection policies more than before COVID? That is one. And secondly, of course, I want you to talk about, because Bajaj Allianz has also been one of the front runners in terms of using digital very effectively. So tell us a little bit about where we are on the digital curve at Bajaj Allianz, and post-COVID, what has really been accelerated.
Thank you, Mahalakshmi. First and foremost, a big pleasure to be here, talking to you and my panelists. I think I have amazing panelists here. And you know me, I've always have contrarian views. So as usual, I have a bit of digression from what Mr. Gupta mentioned in terms of the awareness getting created and push to pull. See, I'll give you some statistics because for me, everything is data, no? And Yashish is here, so I have to talk data only, otherwise he'll not be happy with me, So let's look at some data. So in India, you have, let's say, close to 130 crore people. Below poverty line, 40 crore in health covered by government. Yeah, fair enough. So they can't afford, it's okay. If you look at all the companies put together covering health for how many people? About, let's say, 10, 15, 20 crores, whatever. So which means that about 60, 70 crore people who are not below poverty line are not covered by health. Okay. Now, the regulator advised insurance companies to come out with corona products, and insurance companies did. For that, a lot of respect for the industry, an industry which knows very well that they don't have enough data for pricing it right and have no reinsurance support, went ahead and offered corona cover. I think it was phenomenal from industry perspective, which people should understand. Now, let's look at the corona cover product. 2 lakh sum insured, premium ranging from 400 to 700, 800 rupees a year. Which means technically you're talking of less than 1 rupee 50 paisa per day, which nearly everybody can afford. Available on all websites. So if I look at consumer behavior, Facebook, WhatsApp, I get to meet somebody who is not on Facebook or WhatsApp, minus me, I'm not there, that's a separate issue. But
I'm also not there.
Good, so we start something new. But the issue is that, which actually means that for a product for corona, for a price which is close to 1.50 rupees a day, which can be afforded by anybody, and every insurance company has it on their website, 60 to 70 crore Indians who can afford this and not covered and at huge risk, and the huge awareness level is there. If it was a pull product, the servers of insurance company would have crashed.
It would have crashed. I agree.
It would have crashed like crazy. Yeah. Well, what else you want? Awareness at its peak. It can happen to anybody. Product is available on websites of all insurance companies. Pricing is unbelievable, And the cost of treatment, if you enter hospital, average is 1.5 lakh, between 1.5 to 2 lakh. It can go to 5, 15, 20. Expensive. And it's available. So let's look at the month of April and let's look at retail health growth. This data is again available. -3%. Peak of pandemic. Yeah. Now, if you look at, let's say, May, June, July, you see this 40% growth that we're talking about. But before that, let's say 25% growth was there. 15% growth, mostly from whom? Distributors. How many insurance companies would say that customers reach out to them on their website to buy corona, and which is what is fueling this growth? Data does not show that consumer behavior has changed at this peak of awareness, at this peak of people being aware about corona, product being available, easily available, 3-click buy, no underwriting. No, Yashish will tell you for corona cover, there's no underwriting, just 15-day waiting, that's it. Click buy, any age group, anybody, nothing or pre-issuing, nothing. You can't have a simpler product. You can't have highest regulation in terms of giving you that access to get it done. You can't have a price better than that. And you can't have an awareness level higher than what it is right now. So data does not show that consumer behavior has changed forever. There are some blips. There are something. Distribution has worked. It's a conversational sale. Conversation is happening. Wherever it's happening, those sales are happening. And it's still a push, to my knowledge. It's not reached a pull stage. That's the first part of my thought process based on data that I see.
Sure, fair enough.
The second point on distillation. Now that again, before COVID, and think I was very amazed that irrespective of whatever I try to do, and I used to push my IT team and my operations team a lot when they used to tell you uptake nahi hai, was we have done so many data tools and assets we have created, uptake is not there. I tell them uptake will only happen when you make it so convenient for customers that they find it much more convenient the existing process. Otherwise, uptake will never happen. No. See, for ATM, nobody had to push. Uptake happened. No, even though we still have cashiers. No, that again is an interesting data point. So I was in Singapore just before lockdown, and I saw that 95% of Singapore insurance still on paper. So I was very disappointed. I think all
95%. Sorry, come again.
Of insurance work in Singapore was on paper.
Okay.
A country like Singapore is so distantly advanced, yeah.
Right.
So I was thinking something is seriously wrong. No, like what else can we do to get this on? And when COVID happened, I was amazed. The uptake was like fantastic. No,
right.
I think my customer grievance, and we have one of the lowest customer grievance in the industry, dropped by 90%. The customer update, the distribution update, the way it happened was phenomenal. People are looking for contactless. People are looking at paperless, and the regulator also responded amazing. Otherwise, you had to have a wet signature. You had to have documents, to be sent, and they allowed all that to happen, and they have now made the regulations on that. So I think the entire environment, the way it responded in the COVID, initial COVID stage was phenomenal. I think as a country, as an industry, and all of us should also talk about this. It was phenomenal speed at which the response happened. Obviously, that was excitement.
Sorry, just to interrupt you, the digitization tools that you're talking about, these are for the customers or for the intermediaries? For
everybody. Malashmi, one of my passion is that if a change has to happen, you can't just touch one segment for a change. We're not doing end-to-end change.
Right.
Then you can never expect it to change. So I think my push has always been that you have to look at the entire ecosystem and see that you change, for everything and make it convenient. So for distribution for customers, you'll be happy to note we issued over 1 crore of policies, in the lockdown area, and issued settled 30 lakh claims, all digital, no paper, So I think because the tools were there, uptake happened, and our distributors are using video calls to talk to customers, send links for closure, and Yashish will speak about his experimentation, of how it all went on pure digital space. But that was phenomenal, I think. So that may actually be the transformation happen. The push to pull, I'm not so sure, but the transformation of digital use will actually go up. I think that is something which is going to happen through distributors, and though customer movement on direct buying is still much less compared to what could have happened. But yes, that is going to happen. Now, from pure digital play, also we look at from a company like us, everything think about, right? You use Alexa, Google Home, chatbots, voice, whatever you think about, or settlement of claims on the road, or your mobile breaks right now, you lodge a claim, you transfer into your account, or your flight gets delayed, even if you lodge a claim, we pay you money. Anything that you can think of, you would be doing that, But the issue is the consumer usage of those tools, for the highest of benefit is something which as an industry you have to push more. And the consumers realize that, like for any other product, when they actually love to dabble in it, understand it, insurance also, if they put some more interest, which actually is an amazing place to be in. So those are my comments, Mahalakshmi.
Sure, absolutely.
Yeah, Mahalakshmi, can I make a point? What Tapan was saying. I would also like to put some data here. Maybe we are equating COVID cover with life insurance itself. See, as on 31st October 2020, our first year premium collection is over 1 lakh crore, and that is showing a growth over last year. In October, our individual FYP showed a growth of over 100% over previous year. And our individual FYPI overall from April till now in the current FY is showing a growth of 16.5% over previous year. Our online policies sold, the number has grown by 124% and premium by 135%. Our renewal premium collections is showing a healthy growth of over 12%. So this is something, again, maybe trust in LIC plays a very important role over here. So just some data from my side. Thanks.
Sure. So is this year's growth, are you saying has been exceptional in the sense that does it match with the, for example, the average growth over the last 5 years? Or is this out of chart? So you can say that, actually it's not, extension of a trend, but a new trend of greater level of awareness and fear psychosis or whatever you may call it.
Here I would like to say, see, last year we were doing very well. And last year was a phenomenal year for us. But unfortunately, last 15 days we missed out. Otherwise, last year would have been one of the best years in near history of LIC last 5-10 years. And this
Okay.
year showing growth over last year.
Okay.
That is amazing.
Okay.
That is the most important point I would like to make.
Okay. Okay. So while Mr. Gupta and Tapan wrestle over this pull and push, Yashish, did your servers crash because of people scrambling to buy insurance?
About July, it seemed they might.
Okay.
But I think, see, I don't know how to put it, with such large organizations that we have, both LIC and Bajaj, and LIC much more than Bajaj. And I think the insurance industry, having been around for 50, 60 years, maybe more, maybe 100 years, some of the companies have been there for 100 years. See, the actual coverage that the consumer has in this country has been very low, extremely low. I get saddened a bit, and don't take it the wrong way, sirs. I get saddened when we think about premium numbers. They mean nothing to the consumer. That's just consumer money going. I think what really matters is what coverage does the consumer have, right? What is the sum assured? And the sum assured has grown very fast. But I want to see those customers who bought term insurance before 2008. They don't exist, right? So 10 years ago, we did not. Why does it take a small company like Policy Bazaar to wake up the consumer that please buy term insurance? We're a small company, we're nobody. Why does it take us, a company like us, to spend 1,000 crore rupees in the market telling consumers, please buy health insurance, please buy life insurance? But for me, life insurance is term insurance. Life insurance is not the investment products. They're not life insurance to me. I know I'm making a very controversial statement here, but I think we as an industry have done a disservice to the consumer the last 50, 100 years. Because today, when the customer went during COVID times to hospital, I believe not even 15% of customers had any insurance from pocket. Today, when a person dies, genuine insurance, not 1-2 lakh rupees, which is meaningless for anybody. Barely anybody has, right? When you look at sum assured as a percentage of premium itself, it's abysmally low for our country. We have a very high life insurance premium, but we don't have sum assured. So I think one can look at things from any way, but to me, the big problem that we face is the missing middle as a country, right? Our middle class does not have private insurance, nor does it have government security. See, in the developed world, you have government security. But if you don't have government security, how does the middle class live? And the sad part is, even, I'll give you a very simple stat. We look at voice analytics and we look at, things like, what is the customer talking about today? So in July, the number of conversations about COVID were 8 times as high as they are today. Despite the fact the number is much higher, the consumer thought process, COVID is over, right? Second thing is, see, insurance is built through, I think it's still a push product, but there's some data points here. See, the shoot, the green shoots here are, and we've all seen this. I'm sure Rajiv sir has, Tapan sir has, and I have obviously been seeing it. I think about 5 years ago, insurance, what you call digital insurance. When I say digital insurance, I talk about fresh premium. I don't talk about renewals, because renewals can always go digital. That's fine. But I say, getting customers in first year, I think about 1-2% of our industry was digital. Today, about 15% of our industry is digital. It's a very, very significant number. 15% is very large.
You mean 15% of all new customer acquisitions in a year is digitally driven?
And I'm talking by premium. I'm not talking by sum assured. If you speak by sum assured, it might be 50%.
Okay.
I don't know the number, but it might be 30, 40, 50%. But I'm saying by premium, 15% of the industry has moved digital. This, ma'am, sirs, has happened in the last 5 years. And what I'm talking about is these are customers waking up in the morning, coming to our website and saying, I want to buy insurance. And I'm happy to take out 20,000 rupees from my pocket and put it into this entity for a product, which my best case scenario is I never use that product. Well, I don't want to die. I don't want to fall sick. I'm not seeking any return on this. I'm just putting it. That's a huge phenomenal change that's happened in our country. 15%, 15%. That's a very, very large number. See, when we started, and again, from a general insurance perspective, Tapan sir has seen these numbers. Motor insurance used to be dominant. Health insurance used to be minuscule. I don't know numbers very well, but I believe now health insurance is as big or bigger for the first time.
Because you have regulations, I mean, which mandate auto insurance, but you have no such thing because this is self-regulated.
No, but what I'm trying to say is health has caught up. In the last 10 years, health insurance has caught up. Health insurance is big. Term insurance is significant. There are companies doing a quarter of their business now on term insurance. And then people find ways, yes, term is difficult to distribute, but through these TROP and through limited pay and various mechanisms, it can be made interesting for distribution also. But what I'm saying is customers buying with the primary piece being, what if I die? What if I fall sick? Not what is my return on this product? That is a big part of the market, but there you have mutual funds and banks also competing. So I think consumer awareness is growing. So I think the reality is somewhere in, I think all three of us have a different point of view.
Right.
But the reality is, yes, even today, 85% of insurance is sold, not bought. But 15% is being bought. There's no doubt there. 15% is being bought. The most researched category, look at the difference between online and offline, ma'am. Just for a second, just stay with me on this. The most researched product on the net is term insurance. The second most researched product on the net is health insurance. The third most researched product on the net is motor insurance. There is almost no research whatsoever for life investment products. But if you look at the offline channel, the situation is exactly the opposite, right? The largest sold product is the investment product. It kind of almost goes reverse. It goes investment, motor, health, term, right? So we are looking at two worlds. One is the push world, one is the pull world. I think the pull world is growing. It is, in my humble opinion, it's unstoppable now. But it will take another 5 years to really, where we all agree that the world has moved pull. And for that, a lot of pieces will have to fall into place. A lot of the back-end pieces are still falling into place. The claims, the underwriting, the simplification. I think the NDHM, as it comes together, will really help speed up that trend. But I think the reality is somewhere in the middle.
Sure. So I'll just take this right back to Mr. Gupta. I mean, Yashish, you raised a really significant point that, when you look at insurance, the larger proportion of insurance sold continues to be a bundled investment product, and the protection part of it is really small. And I know there is a historic reason to it, because the way insurance has been sold in this country has been primarily as an investment product, because there were tax incentives and there was always a huge agent force which was pushing it. So if somebody bought it because somebody else said, and you could save a little bit by way of tax, and that legacy kind of continues. But Mr. Gupta, what is it that LIC is doing? And do you think it is imperative for you as a lead player in this space to be actively pursuing something to tilt this whole equation and gunning for protection more than investment? And I don't know if I'm exactly correct on this, but I think LIC is, because I was personally trying to buy a term insurance, enhance my protection level, and I found that LIC was one of the costliest term insurance, and I wondered why.
Mahalakshmi, I would like to have a relook on this statement. Maybe 3 years back, that was the situation.
Okay.
And we were very categorical in stating this thing, that what rates are being quoted by some of the players is unreasonable, unfeasible.
Okay.
And last, in immediate past, there has been huge increase in premium amount being charged to the customers by these private insurance players. While now at this point of time, our tech term plan, online tech term plan is, I think, the most reasonable plan. We have not increased our term insurance premium. That is something I would like to point out over here. And it is the most competitive plan, term insurance plan available in the market right now. Having said that thing, I would certainly like to disagree on what has been stated that term insurance is the only way forward, because it is a fact that life insurance is being sold, but it does not mean that it is being sold blindly without customers realizing what is being sold to them. What has been sold to them has been demanded by the customer. Life insurance in India has always been insurance plus investment. If that was not the case, today, even after 20 years of sector opening up, LIC is having a market share of 73% in new business policy. And in the current pandemic itself, in the month of May, till date, we have increased our market share by about 6-7%. So it is, I would say, completely incorrect to state that customer wants term insurance and insurance companies are not giving that.
So I think the point
because
is, sure.
So the customer wants investment, plus side by side they want risk coverage also. And so a bundled product is always something which customers in India have preferred. And most of our sales, so we have got term insurance plans. We always had some term insurance plans. It was not that we were denying that plans to anybody, but it was always the customer which was demanding that how much I will get when the policy matures. Even today, if any sale pitch is there, customer always wants to know how much he will get when the policy matures. Nobody ever questions how much my nominee will get when I die. Very rare, very rare. I must tell you this. So LIC is always propagating bundled products. Well, of course, we are having pure term products also, and we have got pure endowment. We had pure endowment products also. But it is always the bundle product which is demanded in the market, and we are providing it.
Sure, fair enough. But I think the point is not so much about about what you sell and what you have on the plate, but just Steve Jobs says the customer doesn't know what he wants. I think as a lead player, I would say that it's not only you, but all the players in the industry. The existential reason why an insurance company exists is that you have to provide protection. To that extent, to educate the customer about the need for insurance itself has to start at the level of the company. To educate them saying, boss, you need insurance first. For investment, you have us, and there are a plethora of other options too. But this is absolutely essential and center of plate for anybody in terms of financial planning. So I think that word has not gone out, and I won't singularly say it's LIC or anybody else, including the media. All of us are responsible for not being able to spread this word to people. So Yashish, what is it that you would expect should be done at the industry level and at each individual player level?
I think the industry will take time. It will not change suddenly. It cannot. And as Sir said, it's absolutely true that the customer, and both sirs have said that, the customer is not jumping out of his door saying, I want to buy term insurance, I want to buy health insurance. You know, even in this time, the total term insurance fresh premium market, or let's say total term insurance is about 10,000 crores. It's nothing compared to the large numbers of the insurance industry. The health insurance retail industry is 20,000 crores, maybe 25, 30,000 crores. Nothing compared to the large investment category. Now, I think that is the truth. The customer doesn't, if the customer engaged, if the customer got up in the morning and said, I want health insurance and life insurance, then life would be very easy. And that is precisely why in a category like insurance, you have millions of distributors out there trying to push the product, because it is a push product at the end of it, right? I think all I'm trying to say is we have to understand the nature of the problem. The nature of the problem is customer inertia to their own problem. Their own problem, see, I have nothing against investment products. We also sell investment products. They're about 20% of our sales, right? But they're not 80% of our sales. And what we struggle with is to get demand for investment products, because quite honestly, nobody is sitting out there searching that I want a traditional investment product or a ULIP investment product. They're searching for mutual funds, they're searching for fixed deposits.
Right.
They're not really searching for this. But because we have a large sales force as an industry, we are able to get that to happen. Now, I think both term and health, both require a very deep thought about it. Because if you have to sell this product, the most important thing is utmost faith, not just in the company. Actually, you don't need faith in the company. You actually need faith in the customer. Because at such low penetration levels, the person who will come to buy these products first is the person who's either dead,
right,
or dying,
right,
or is already sick, because they know, I'll pay 1,000 rupees and get something.
Right.
So I think utmost technique, data, analytics in analyzing risk is critical. Now, I think that needs to take the forefront. I think in the health insurance industry, that has taken forefront, by the way. I believe now in the health insurance industry, people are less concerned about distribution than about risk. You'll be surprised. When I talk to CEOs, their bigger concern is not how to increase volume. Their bigger concern is what risk are we taking on? Right. What's going to happen with that, etc., etc. Health has changed, I think.
So Tapan, what is the Brahmastra that you have developed to nail on this, essentially to minimize the risk for the company and yet be customer centric?
Okay, first and foremost, thank you, Mahalakshmi, for inviting me. I'm really enjoying this panel discussion. Three different industry leaders and three different points of view.
I'm in amazing. Caught between you, but
I think you only can pull it off, Mahalakshmi. So I think it's a great panel to be in. I'm fully enjoying it. So first, let me answer the point that has been raised and give some insight on that. So I keep everybody on their toes, and then we come back to answer your question.
Right.
So I think first, Mr. Gupta, I'm not an LIC man at all. I'm a hardcore non-life general insurer all my career. So on LIC, whatever I speak about life or whatever I speak about is that layman talk. So I think that is one thing. Coming to Yashish's point in terms of people approaching directly, and the pull party initially mentioned. If you look at what he did mention, two things he mentioned. He mentioned now the interest has gone down, compared to what was 2 to 3 years back. So the point I was trying to make that the customer behavior has not changed. The moment the perception of corona is still there, the number of cases is still rising. Moment the perception of fear comes down, nobody's even trying to figure out the product. So it is still a push product. Yeah. And the product Yashi is talking about is more a comparative product search for the cheapest, which is a aggregator side. So people who are already going to buy, which have been pushed by the offline methodology, looking for a cheaper product would be actually searching for the web to find which is giving the best product, because people are tech savvy and they look for now price comparison all across. So that cannot be an initial harbinger of the good times of a pull product coming in. I think we should not get carried away is my humble submission there. Okay, now let's come to your point. Let's look at insurance and let's look at success in penetration. Let's understand how the world has moved. And let's not get, again, data points. In US, home insurance has 95% penetration. In India, it is less than 1%. In India, private motor car has 90% penetration. Indonesia, 20% penetration. Across the world, what is it that when the penetration is very high, and what is it that when the penetration is very low? What is that one differential which is happening? The same citizens or same people who had gone to US from India had a home insurance there, and in India it will be like 1/50th the cost, but they don't have a home insurance here. Why is it so? The point is, insurance and government have to work together. unfortunately, the human brain is not wired to see the risk. It was wired to see the risk. Then if you look outside your window, wherever you're sitting, Mahalakshmi, you'll find 80% people not wearing masks. No? And they care a hell about Corona. You ask them, yeah? Like somewhere I read, no, if Corona and love happens, like, no, you don't have to know, like you just cannot do that, yeah? So they don't care a shit about it. And because of this attitude only, human beings have reached where they've reached. Otherwise, they've still been cave. If they were so wired to see risk, no, they've still been in the cave. So it's what we're trying to fight against is the human wiring of not seeing risk, no, till it hits you. And that's what Ashish mentioned, when it hits you, then you start searching, no, which is the insurance company I should buy health from, or I should buy, this from, or what is the cheapest to look for. On their own, cyber is the biggest risk right now for everybody. No, 700 rupees a year is there for a cyber cover, amazing cover. If actually people were aware of risk and they're buying insurance, then cyber will be selling like hotcakes today. No, the point I want to make, if I look at risk and the purchase happening, which is not, the top names still come up term, or health or motor, which is something which has been pushed up here. Government and insurance company, when they work together, then they make a difference to the country and they change the social fabric of the country. This is a very important point which we miss when we talk about penetration. No, I think we're barking at the wrong tree when we talk about the way we're looking at it. In US, it is there because it's mandatory to have that cover. In Indonesia, motor is not mandatory, so the penetration is much lower. In India, it's mandatory, so it's about 80% or so, no, and going to 90% of penetration, which is happening. When government announced national health scheme, I was super excited. Before that, all my interviews said it should be announced. 40 crores Indians get covered. Suddenly, you watch big hospital chains talking of opening hospitals at remote locations which they never ventured to. Why? 5 lakh sum insured per family. Healthcare investment goes up, money gets pushed in.
You make these audacious plans when your economy or the country is not really geared in terms of infrastructure or support system to beef up what is required to deliver on that promise. So that's the recipe for disaster.
No. It's not so, Mahalakshmi. When you make audacious announcement, initially 1-2 years, there may be struggle. But 20,000, 25,000 crores of money is coming into the table, as claim payments. Where does it go? That goes in starting beefing our infrastructure. It may take 5 to 7 years. But with that movement, just one that movement, the average life expectancy at that strata would move up by 5 to 7 years, Mahalakshmi. That is the difference it makes. Let's look at the crop insurance scheme. 90% is the claim ratio if I take a 5-year period, which means the subsidy, if government, and we have read about it, if 100 rupees is being allotted by center, and we have read this, how much reaches the farmer? 10, 15 rupees, what we read. I do not know, you are the journalist, you would be knowing more. I'm just talking what I heard. In a crop insurance scheme, 90% reaches the farmer. Amazing distribution of subsidy, by the insurance mechanism. And it is getting beneficial to so many farmers all across. A government and an insurance company partnership changes the social fabric of the country. And that is where you actually provide coverage. And the point Yashish mentioned, the middle level, I think Niti Ayog is talking on the middle level now, the next 20 crores of health insurance, how do you put that on? It's a bigger framework. It's a bigger framework. Insurance is there for social needs. Government is there to provide protection. Putting it together is how you redefine the country. That is the mantra. All advertisements, if it worked, then Corona would have ensured servers of crash and 40 crores would have people would have bought. Even if whatever Mr. Gupta mentioned numbers as growth, compared to numbers of uninsured people, what are we talking about? That's the point I want to make. Growth is, like Yashish mentioned, does not do any reflection.
The important thing is a certain momentum has been set, like Mr. Gupta is saying that, okay, this period has, when everything's going down, the fact that if you even matched up to last year and bettered last year, there is a certain momentum that has come. But the question is to sustain this momentum, because this is all driven by recency effect. And when that fades off, do we really have the systems, the products, the simplicity that's required to really capitalize on this growth to make it big? But to coming back to this point on digitization, Mr. Gupta, can you just take us through, again, what kind of, through this digitization process, how close have you come to the customer? Have there been certain hurdles that have been crossed, have been demolished, so that this whole process becomes simpler, quicker? So digital selling takes off in a big way. That itself can be a fairly big driver. For example, if health insurance or motor insurance or term insurance has got wings because of digital delivery, it's because of the simplicity of the product. So is there, where are we at LIC in terms of coming close to the customer?
Yeah, Malakshmi, I would like to raise a very pertinent point. See, two important points I would like to make here. Number one is the regulator itself has instructed all insurance companies to come out with a product called Saral Jeevan. It will be a very plain and simple product available, and the customer can compare the rates. LIC is already designed the product. We are waiting approval from the regulator. There then we can have a product which will be really comparable, and each insurance company will be having a similar product. Though I must say that already some of our products are very, what should I say, simple. And we have right now 7 products available online. Sale is going on. And there's as I said, there's a very good growth on online sales. Recently, IRDAI has come out with they have permitted digital signatures on proposal forms. So this will be a game changer. Because now though the customer will be approached through the intermediary itself, but end-to-end solution can be provided digitally. The proposal form can be filled in digitally. The customer will have digital signatures. We are already having in place video medical or telemedical. Almost, in fact, with certain limitations where special reports are required. All other medical can be conducted video or telephonically by us. And we have given this facility to all our customers. And so end-to-end digital completion can happen even through agent mode. Because LIC, as far as LIC is concerned, our biggest chunk of business comes through the tied agency. Okay.
Right.
So these two activities, I am sure, will give a good results. Apart from that, we are having some bank assurance partners like IDBI Bank and Axis Bank, where we have given digital access to them. So the customer never comes to LIC. The bank assurance channel itself takes care. And bank assurance channel, again, this year is showing a very good growth of more than 53% in LIC. And in fact, we are expecting other bank assurance partners to come forward and play a very important role in making bank assurance a very successful channel. So these are certain points which will certainly impact the market.
Sure. We were also talking about, video medical and stuff like that. I mean, those, are they for this period where we are still observing social distancing, etc., or is that a permanent change that you're looking at?
No, in fact, it was launched last year itself. It is over 1 year old. So COVID was nowhere in the horizon when we launched our video medical. Okay. And this is here to stay. Okay. This is something which we were looking forward to. And during this period, I must say that the penetration will increase because of the pandemic. And it is 100% here to stay.
So LIC is certainly showing greater faith in customers. I mean, if you're affecting video medical, of course, the tools are available, but it's also a question of faith. So coming back to you, Tapan, what kind of systems have you put in place to minimize risk to the company? And so you are able to take that leap of faith on the customer.
Okay, so let's look at GI industry and let's look at what are the risks that actually GI industry faces. No? Actually, it's a very simple industry. I think that is why we have an easier time compared to the industry.
Right.
So if you look
because most of it is excluded, no? So it's simple.
It's amazing. And you look at the combined ratio industry, it's 117%. So a combined ratio 117% industry means that the industry is bleeding paying all the claims, So I don't know, your statement and the data do not go together. So, okay, let me come back again to the point why it is simple. So if you look at, it's a simple risk-based coverage, There's nothing called investment here. So you pay for something, it happens, you get paid. If you take a motor insurance, if your car crashes, you get paid, no? Now, what are the chances where frauds would happen? You already have a car crashed and you want to get an insurance done. No? Or let's say in health, you already have an illness. You want to get an insurance done. I think if I look at broadly, or you already have a factory where no fire has already happened, you want to get an insurance done. I think those are the only places. Otherwise, no, it's pretty simple. Except for health also, you have a health cover. Whatever is the waiting period of, I think, pre-existing, if that gets over, I'd be surprised if any company saying no to your claim. You just walk in and gets it paid. No, it's as simple as that. No, if you have motor cover, if an accident happens, I would surprise somebody says no to the claim. It gets paid. Yeah. The only issue is you have to be careful about frauds. Now, fraudsters and insurance companies have been going like chore police for many, many years together. I think the biggest frauds happen in insurance industry. And the beauty is honest people also commit fraud in insurance industry. That is where the beauty is. Let me give a statement, like how do honest people commit fraud in the insurance industry? You have a car, it has some scratches. Yeah. Scratches part of maintenance. There's not an accident now. Well, some scratches here, there is there. Now you take it to a workshop for whatever, servicing. The workshop guy says, Madam, chinta nahi kariye, pura gaadi hum paint karaya aapko denge, sab bima company karegi. You as an honest person sign a blank form for claims. And you know what happens after you leave? The car is crashed and you have no clue. Photographs have taken, claims get settled, your car get painted, and you get the car back. And behind you, there may be a claim which will be worth over ₹1 lakh. You were part of a fraud, Mahalakshmi, unknowingly, knowingly. The problem in insurance industry is honest people commit frauds in insurance industry. Now let's try to put all this chain together.
Poetic justice. It's all poetic justice, I call it. Karma hitting insurance industry back.
That's why I said, look at the data, no, Mahalakshmi, 120% combined ratio. The industry is bleeding to death paying claims. So I think somewhere we have to work on the perception also. Now let's come back to what do we do to settle all this. First and foremost, have a very strong anti-fraud mechanism.
Right.
Demonstrate it very strong. So let's say when we catch a fraud, internal, external, we don't let it go easy. Even getting the people arrested. Fraud is something which should not come to us. That is something which one should be very, very clear. Right. If you're able to eliminate fraud, the rest is very easy. It's not about customer trust. It's about fraud. Now, on fraud is where the problem starts. Now, let me give you a bit of background of the insurance industry. And this is interesting. So I'll take 2-3 minutes of your time to understand why does this happen? Why this perception, like the perception you have, why is it happening? 16th century, when the insurance industry got open, what was the purpose of the industry? You collect money from many. You're the custodian of the money of many to be paid to a few who have an incident on which the contract was given. You're the custodian of money, of public money. So what is the onus on you as the insurance industry that if somebody lodges a claim, please verify.
Right.
2 things. 1, A is not a fraud. B, it is within the contract which you have signed. Otherwise, you are giving away somebody else's money. It is not the insurance company that are putting money, no ma'am. All of you are giving money. From there, you're paying claims. Right. So when we pay a false claim, or we pay an exorbitant claim, or we pay a claim outside the contract, we may be very nice guys, but we are defrauding the trust of millions of people who have paid money for us to safeguard and pay for the right thing. That's our job. So by nature, the insurance industry gets into a dilemma when they start checking. As a customer, your experience is terrible. You lodge a claim and the industry is seeing you like a thug. They're checking whether it's a fraudulent claim, whether it's exorbitant, whether it's now this is where the conflict comes in. From the industry perspective, for hundreds of years, they're trying to play right and safe. And that's why I give you the combined issue. From customer perspective, the experience is very bad. Now, this is where as Bajaj Allianz, our ambition is, how do you make the experience of customer so seamless and so beautiful that we don't even doubt when you lodge a claim? What we do is, at the background, put so strong algorithms that digitally we're able to eliminate fraud. But from customer experience, for you, it's seamless. So let's say if you have a motor insurance with us, if you don't have, please insure. It's pretty good. And if you have a claim, you get down, click pictures, upload, we'll transfer money to your account within 20 minutes.
Right.
Guaranteed, yeah? Off the accident on the spot. No, as simple as that, because we learn all our algorithms in the background. A time has come with all the digital tools to solve this dilemma of the industry and the customer experience using digital tools, eliminate fraud and do it ruthlessly. And that is the only thing we should do, Maharaj. The rest, no, I think we should just allow it to just get paid. I think that is what we
Thank you for those defrauding tips. Oh, that's good education. But Yashish, so what would you, what is your top three wish list from the industry? So
Yeah.
we sort of
The
really
biggest,
go several
biggest-
notches higher on customer centricity.
yeah, I think the biggest wish list is focus on risk. Uh, that's one. We ourselves, and I totally agree with Tapan sir that there is an intent issue. If you can identify the intent of the customer, you can identify the risk quite well. And with all the we're talking and recording our conversations with about uh, almost 250,000 customers every day, and all of this is giving us a lot of inputs into the risk that some of those, very few of those, are creating for the rest of the ecosystem. We're able to pick up that data, and we're able to pass on this data to all our partners. And in motor, health, and life, in life, we're having lots of conversations with reinsurers. There's beautiful data coming out on how you can identify risk very early on through the use of voice, through the use of intent, through the use of tech. And I think picking that up is extremely powerful. Our industry needs to be absolutely transparent towards both the risk taker and the customer. Both. If there is not an honest conversation, it becomes difficult.
Right.
I think my wish from the industry is, if I was to put it pure bluntly, we know it's difficult. We know moving this industry, we all agree, right, that it's difficult for customers to get up in the morning and say, I want to protect myself. There are some entities in this country which are genuinely trying to do that. We are one of them. We need support. We need support from all of you.
In what way?
With all the support, see, we all know what support means. With all that support from the regulator, from the insurance companies, from everybody, we're trying to build a business. We spent, as I said, we spent about 1,500 crores educating the consumer. Buy health insurance, let me explain a very simple thing. Before 2008, there wasn't a term insurance market. There is a term insurance market. Can it be said that at least Policy Bazaar is 20% of the reason why there exists a term insurance market today? There may not have been one if Policy Bazaar wasn't there, right? I'm not taking all the credit, I'm taking 20. So someone like us, Mahalakshmi, all I'm saying is someone like us needs support. That's all. Because this is the task that usually governments do. This is not the task that private people do. This is a task that governments do, right? So that's all. And we may still, with all that support, just be 5-10% of the industry, but we need that support. That's all.
Sure. Mr. Gupta, what will be your top three areas of priority towards customer centricity?
Yeah, so I would, till now we were discussing almost marketing, and my niche area is customer services. So as far as customer services is concerned, my top of the list priority is to provide service portal to all the customers. So all their service needs can be done online.
All right.
That will be the biggest thing I would like to have, and we are working towards that. Secondly, digital access to customers on purchases also, either directly through our online portals or through our intermediary channels, either bank assurance or our regular tied agent. So as I said, I'm very happy to inform that the regulator has allowed this digital signature on proposal forms through the regular tied agency group also. Of course, it is for a limited period to begin with. And we are looking forward to that, because that is something will be a game changer. And thirdly, we always, because we are catering to more than 21 crore customers. So premium collection is also something which we always look forward to, providing new and new avenues to customers to pay the premium. Again, I'm very happy to report that in the current year, the self mode of premium payment, we all know that premiums are being collected through agents, and people are coming to the branch offices and paying. Self mode, where digitally people have paid. This year, it has been 42% of our total collection. It has shown a quantum growth of 135% over last year. So we are in the process of adding more and more channels. We are already there in almost all of them: Google Pay, Amazon Pay, Paytm, Phone Pay, through debit card, credit card, net banking. And I must also inform that all credit card charges, debit card charges, we are bearing right now. So that is something we wish to provide avenues to the customer, how to interact with LIC. They want to come directly to LIC, well and good. If they want to come to intermediary, that is also okay with us. And in fact, we are okay with everything. So that is something, three top things I would like to say.
I mean, in what ways will Bajaj Allianz be a better company 3 years hence?
We will have the ambition to settle all real.
Apart from creating huge value for your shareholders, which is number one priority.
All is number one priority, including right now giving you the answer. So let me come to the point. First is that if I look at all retail claims to be settled in 10 minutes, the point I told you, the customer experience for claims in the industry has been horrible for 400, 500 years. As a company...
Insurance existed that long? 500 years?
Yeah, 1600. First Marine, Lloyd's, all the story you'll hear. No, the ships went into the water, 4 guys sat down in the coffee shop, no?
Okay.
So yeah, you'll be surprised. The insurance industry is a pretty old industry. Yeah?
Okay.
Nothing has changed. If you look at the wordings of motor, fire, they would be at least 80, 100 years old. No, Yashish, correct me if I'm wrong, huh?
Right, totally, sir.
We are an amazing industry. When you talk of digital era, I can tell you that all the policy wordings are at least 80 years old. No? So the industry existed for a long time. Okay. So for something where the customer experience has been terrible, first point is Mahalakshmi, that we want to make a difference. All retail claims within 10 minutes time. Yeah, that is our ambition. And we are there. Like I said, for motor, you can get it. If you have mobile, you have taken from any of our partners, no, or distributors. If an accident happens, we transfer money very fast. For trip delay, we actually pay you even before you know it. No, we are pushing it very hard. We want to change the experience of customer to a level where the push to pull happens. No, that is where Yashish will be happy that the support that we give. Then people say, yes, insurance is good to have because the claims get paid. That is one thing which you want to change. Very, very clear. For industrial risk, at least 50%, 60% payment on the first day of loss itself. Because now every data is digital. Why do we wait for asking for chartered accountancy data to be put? No, why not within that one? That's our ambition. Policies to be customized. Customer should decide what covers you want up to what level. No, luckily IDS covered sandbox to experimenting a lot. So more power to the customer in terms of what he wants to cover, up to what he wants to cover. And when a claim happens, we don't start with distrust. We turn it on the head, we pay, we trust you. Those things we want to do. We want to redefine the entire industry completely from experience perspective. I hope.
Sure, more power to your elbow, all three of you gentlemen. Thank you so much. I had a really nice time moderating this discussion. I hope you guys enjoyed the discussion too. Mr. Gupta, Yashish and Tapan, thank you so much for your time.
Loved every moment, Mahalakshmi. Great time. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Should do more of these. Thank you very much.
Sure. Thank you, gentlemen.